Hello everyone and welcome to my first of two videos on this, the Nikon N50, also called the F50. A camera that is empirically ugly, but also exceedingly capable, and a camera that a lot of Nikon users really enjoy because it brings a lot with it. Because of the aesthetics, they're really not that expensive compared to a lot of other Nikon cameras of the same vintage. This is the first video. We're going to talk about what everything on the camera is. In the second video, we'll do a deep dive into how to use everything on this camera and what it means for your photography. So, the Nikon N50 is a multi-mode 35mm interchangeable lens camera. What does all that mean? Multi-mode simply means that it has multiple shooting modes: program, aperture priority, shutter priority, and manual. I think it has all four of them. 35mm means it can take any 35mm film you put it in within the bounds of the ISO range that it offers, and I don't have that written down. And it will take a photo on that if it can give you a proper shutter speed and aperture. Interchangeable lens simply means that you can take the lens off of the camera at any point when you're not taking a photo and your film will be just fine, and then put a different one on. And single lens reflex means that it has a single lens on the front of it. The light passes through the lens to the mirror that we saw with the lens removed, up to this pentamirror or pentaprism system, I forget which, and then out through the viewfinder in the back. The shutter speed on this is 30 seconds to 1/2000th of a second, as well as a time mode. The focusing screen is fixed, you can't replace it, and what it does is it shows the central autofocus point on the focusing screen. We'll talk more about that in the second video. And then the flash sync speed on this camera is 1/125th of a second. The meter type I forgot to write down in my notes, but it should be a matrix meter. I think there might also be multiple meter types on this. We'll explore that as we go through the second video. The Nikon N50 was released as an entry-level camera. It includes a simple mode. In here we'll see how to access that. Right here, actually, on the top, we'll see it right now. You access simple mode by just turning that dial. And basically what that does is it turns the camera into an auto program mode. In simple mode, you're shooting in magic green box exclusively, okay? If you go into advanced mode, now you have just a whole bunch more control over how the camera is actually going to work. Simple mode, you got nothing. Advanced mode, you got everything, however you want to set it up. This does lack some of the common features like depth of field preview and remote shutter release that some of the tier up cameras from it had. While the body does use metal in a few places, it's such as in the interior structure, it has a metal chassis. Primarily what you see on the outside here is plastic. Or I should say, to be more accurate, it's polycarbonate. And though it is, it's not light, but it's not heavy. And for how it's made, it does feel really surprisingly robust. It's a solid camera. And one other thing about this camera is that because it's an entry-level camera, if you have a non-CPU lens, which is one that does not have the electronic contacts, you get no light meter use with this camera at all. So it is really geared toward people using lenses that have the electronic contacts on them. And also, I think, yeah, it does not have a meter coupling lever on it, which means if your lens does not have the ability to communicate aperture information via the electronic contacts, then this camera can do nothing whatsoever with that lens. So it was made by Nikon in Japan from 1994 until 1999. And now if you have your Nikon N50, we're going to go over what everything on the top of the camera, well, all of the different things on the camera. We're going to start here on the top, though, technically the sides with the strap bars. This is what you connect your camera strap to. This is the dial to switch between simple mode and advanced mode. On-off button. This is your pop-up flash. This is your flash hot shoe. This right here is the menu button. These are the set and adjust buttons. These these four, you can use them to set and adjust different functions, and we'll see that throughout the second video. Self-timer button, shutter release button. On the front of the camera, we have the make and model. Here we have the decorative red stripe and the big old battery grip handle. All right, this little lever is a lens communication lever that allows the camera to communicate with the lens. This is your autofocus drive right here. This is the screw connection for autofocus lenses. This is your manual and autofocus selection switch right here. And as you can see, in autofocus mode, this pops out of the lens mount, and in manual focus, it retracts. Lens release button, lens locking pin, lens mounting index, and this is your self-timer light right here. The back of the camera doesn't have a whole lot to see. We've got the lens, the film type window right here. We've got the viewfinder window right here, and we've got the auto exposure lock button over here. On the bottom of the camera, we have the battery chamber here, made in Japan, serial number CE mark, film rewind button, and lastly, the tripod socket that you can use to connect the camera to a tripod. On this side of the camera, we have the release for the film back. So to get inside of the camera, you simply push that down, and the back of the camera pops right open. Film cassette chamber. This is where we'll put the film in the second video. These are the DX code readers, so if your film has a little silver and black checkerboard on it, your camera will know automatically what type of film you have loaded. These are the 4 film guide rails here, and what they do is they help keep the film moving through the camera. The top and bottom ones keep it properly aligned, and the silver inner ones sandwich up against the film pressure plate to keep it flat so that light coming from the lens is properly focused on the film plane. These are the shutter leaves, and these shutter leaves will open when the photo is taken to expose the film to light. This is your film take-up sprocket, and what this does is spin as the film's taken up to pull it evenly through the camera. This is your film take-up spool, and this is where the film's going to be taken up as it's fed through the camera. This right here is the film loading index. We'll see this in the second video, but this is where the leader has to reach at minimum in order for the film to be taken up by the take-up spool. On the camera's door, we have this little tension roller here that fits right there to keep tension on the sprockets and the sprocket holes so that the film stays engaged as it moves through the camera. We have the film pressure plate that sandwiches up against the shutter curtain to keep the film flat and focused on the plane where the lens focuses light. We have this little gasket around your film type window so that light doesn't leak through here and fog your film. And then this little spring here is your cassette retaining spring, and what that does is keep the film properly aligned in the cassette chamber over here so that it can, the film can be taken out of the cassette. Ooh, that was close. And rewound onto the cassette smoothly without getting jammed. Okay, good. No damage to the shutter. I do have some things not to do with your camera. The first one is don't do what I just did and touch the shutter, even accidentally with the tip of a mechanical pencil. Don't touch the shutter. Your finger oils can get onto those leaves and make them sticky, and then they might not function properly. Also, if you press too hard, those shutter leaves run in tracks, and if they hop a track, they can jam up against the next shutter leaf and then brick your shutter that way. Also, behind the mirror, the lens rather, you saw a mirror. Don't touch that mirror because your finger oils can tarnish it, which will throw off your autofocus metering and also your ability to look through the viewfinder and do manual focusing. Don't leave your camera in your car. In addition to always being a theft target, cameras like this in extreme heat or extreme cold can have negative effects on the polycarbonate housing, which can cause it to shrink or crack or warp, something like that. Not a good situation. Also, lubricating oils in the lenses and the camera's mechanical components could get very thin in the heat, flow to places they shouldn't be, and when they get back to their proper viscosity, things don't function properly. Or in extreme cold, those same lubricating oils can become very gummy, and then they break down and they don't do their job properly. So never store your camera in your car. Don't store your camera in a plastic bag or box unless you have a good and rechargeable desiccant pack in there, not a disposable desiccant pack, but a rechargeable one, because plastic is moisture permeable, and once moisture gets into it, it can settle onto your lenses and cause fungus to grow. That's true for your lenses, and here it can also grow in the optical system of your camera. In your lenses, fungus will impair image quality. In your optical system, it will impair your ability to use the camera. Don't let your camera get wet. I don't believe that the N50's weather sealed. Entry-level cameras of this thing's era were not typically weather sealed, but even if it were, it's at this point 25 to 30-year-old weather sealing. I might not fully trust it. So don't let it get wet, because water and electronics have never gotten along. That continues to be the case in the Nikon N50, so you don't want to risk ruining your camera by getting it wet. And just remember that your Nikon N50 is a precision tool that should be handled with care and respect. And as long as you take care of your camera will take care of you. So that's it for the first video. In the second video, which you're going to see a card for right now, you can hop on over to that, and now we'll talk about everything that you can do with this camera and how to use it. See you guys over there.